have it, and as they say, it all comes down to this. It's time for the finals of the regional championships for North America. It's Orbit versus NRG. Who is the best in North America? Who's going to get the #1 seed in Amsterdam? Who's going to collect $10,000? We're about to find out. It's best of 7 with the commentaries. We Wave Punk and Lawler. Take it away, guys.
Thanks so much, Axel Toss. It is the North American Championships right now with NRG and Orbit. Lawler, I am excited. This is going to be a clash of the Titans.
Yeah, we see these guys battling back and forth, getting that first round seed and bye coming through, guaranteed to land. But now we get to see a little bit of a preview of these two guys. We saw it 2 weeks ago during week number 4. Orbit took top 3-2, but like Gibbs said, it's weird seeing Sad Jr. on a more defensive side. He's characteristic for going these crazy double touch aerials like Garrett's done. And you look at these two teams, the way they match up. You've got two guys really good on defense, Moses versus Fireburner. Two guys great for setups, Jacob and Turtle. Two guys on offense, should be Sad and Garrett. And I'm sorry, but Garrett, you saw what Carpy just showed. He's insane. It's incredible. And then one thing they pointed out on the desk is these are two of the longest standing rosters right now in Rocket League. After Season 1, they made no changes and continued on. And one of the advantages of not making changes is you can experiment with your lineup a bit and figure out what works for you. Sad Jr. usually known as one of those offensive players filling in that defensive role. And right now, it's got them in the North American Finals. Let's get set to go. It'll be Orbit in the blue, NRG in the orange. For all the marbles here, Sad Jr. is going to start it off right off the bat. We talked about him as a defender. Here he comes on the offense. Exactly what you want to see out of Sad. You see Jacob setting him up yet again, winning that kickoff, and then just a quick flick over the top. You see two players on defense committing. Kind of uncharacteristic for Orbit. Usually they have one back in net, but they send two, one quick flick over the top, puts the shot on. 4 seconds is all it takes for NRG to start with this lead. NRG, formerly Kings of Urban, are technically the reigning North American champions right now as Fireburner sends another one in. They're starting off very quick here, Lawler. Yeah, pressure definitely no issue. You see Turtle taking a shot. He was trying to play that towards the wall, makes a huge mistake and plays it back inside, tries to fix it, but ends up forcing a pass, and it leads it right to Fire. Fire, like you said, and as the guys said on the desk, he's been cheating up a little bit more. He's been coming off that back line and putting in shots. He is the top scorer. 4:43 left to go now in game number 1. Barely even out of the first 30 seconds, and we already have NRG up by 2. As Jacob sends that one over into the corner, and Garrett will respond. Clearing it over to Turtle, sets it out for Moses. He moves out of goal and lets Garrett rotate in behind him. Garrett will challenge. Jacob sends it over to the side. Bumps Turtle high, opening up some space in this Orbit rotation. It's gonna work out for him as Fireburner puts a third one in. You just see Garrett trying to do the best of his ability with this. He actually thinks that it's gonna hit this backboard and bounce out. So what does he do? He leaves it, turns his car, and he's getting ready to carry the momentum of that hit off. But the placement of that shot is too good. This NRG team is sending a message. We're not even out of the first minute, and they already have 3 on the board. 2 for Fireburner. NRG wasting no time getting down to business. I put that one over into the corner, and Fireburner crosses it in front of the net. Does not get cleared by Moses, but Sad Jr. was not in a position to finish it off. He now moves up, puts it into the box, and Fireburner will leave it for Jacob in the back. It's a nice solid clear. Fireburner moves up. This Jacob Fireburner duo has been on fire all season, and it pays off again. 4-0 for NRG. Jacob staying patient yet again. We talked with these guys a couple weeks back about how every team kind of fears NRG because they're very weird to play against, and part of the reason is Jacob. And the way that Jacob's playing, he's usually the setup man. He's just kind of surveying it, waiting for it to happen. But that pass, instead of taking it to the corner and using the backboard, they play it closer to his team. Yeah. So he has the better advantage when it comes to taking that shot. Really well done by NRG. They're looking good. Well, NRG realizes right now how their setup, how their rotation should work. Jacob needs to start things off. So on that setup, as the ball came in, Fireburner left it, said, Jacob, just hard clear. I'm going to turn around and just assume you're going to pass it to me. He does. He sends it right back down to Fireburner, and there's a 4-0 lead right now for NRG. Orbit needing to figure out what they're doing wrong. They're leaving a lot of space on defense, and they're just falling prey to the passing game of NRG at the moment. A nice clear by Moses as he sets this one up and looks to push her out, but is not able to get it. And it's back with Sad Jr. Fireburner in the corner. It's lofted high. Jacob will fall back, pick up boost, and go to goal. He's going to watch this one in the corner as Moses tries to just maintain ball control, and Garrett puts it onto the backboard, but Sad Jr. will be able to put that one out to Jacob, who gets it past Fireburner in the air. Now Garrett G in the back. Jacob was able to put it back on the backboard, and Moses gets the clear. Orbit
needing to find a way to break out of their own half. They had a moment of offensive pressure, but then immediately taken away by NRG. Here they come again. Let's see what they can do with it this time.
Yeah, you see NRG playing very confident, not afraid to get up in the face of these guys, and they're just spreading the field really well, covering every single option given to them. As soon as that ball's played out, there's usually someone on this team willing to go up and take a hit, whether it be contesting or otherwise.
2:28 left to go, just past halftime, and it's been all NRG in game number 1. They look to extend their lead here as Fireburner sends another one onto net, gets the tap! Oh my goodness, it's 5-0.
Good job by Fireburner following this up. He sees this pass coming from Jacob that's set up yet again. Takes a weak shot, and it looks like Moses is able to make a save, but he even biffs the hit.
Oh, man.
And it goes straight up right to Fireburner, who's already waiting and says, nah, man, that's going in the net.
Nice try, but this one's going in. He's got himself a hat trick already in game number 1. Just barely halfway over. Orbit really struggling right now and needing to recollect themselves. Maybe use the second half of this game to try and experiment with a new way of approaching their offensive positioning. Because right now, down by 6, this game is like already over.
Another dunk from Fireburner. Just this ball gets played outfield, and it just seems to be that everything they're trying to do, NRG has an answer for it. Played across the midfield, trying to bring it downfield. No. Fireburner's already waiting, plays it back in, then gets another dunk.
Just muscles it through there. 2:03 left to go. Orbit looking for any semblance of offensive pressure they can start to build off of. Garrett able to stop that one from going through. Leave it for his teammate Moses. He'll leave that one for Turtle, who gets a nice hard clear. Draw out 2 players, and Jacob will put it into the corners. Fireburner rotates into net. Moses wins the 50-50, but Turtle continues to fall back, leaving Moses and Garrett up on offense. Moses misses the touch, and that leaves it with Fireburner. He's pushing back into the corner. Sad Jr. will wrap it around. Garrett G puts it high. Jacob gets the mid-air demo, but not before Turtle's able to get the clear. It lands straight onto Fireburner's hood. Now the ball back in blue corner. Fireburner gets a nice bump from Moses, and that'll leave it with Garrett up in the corner. Lofts it high. Turtle looks for an opportunity. Goes open net. Can Garrett get the redirect? No. That's 2 players. Jacob, I think, was the one who got the final touch.
Yeah, these shots just being a little bit weak, and you can tell
What a shot.
What a save by Moses.
Amazing play there. Moses keeping the score from extending. 1:03 left to go in game number 1, and we're only 2 goals away from Brazil, which would be quite the stylish way to start off the championship. Turtle puts it over onto the wall, and Sad Jr. will look to pass this one to his teammates. Moses goes for the dunk, but cannot get it into the net. That leave with Sad Jr. putting it high. 45 seconds remaining, and Jacob will send it to the far side. It's Garrett now. Back to Fireburner. Can he keep it in his corner? He does. Turtle looking for an opportunity, but doesn't see it, and that's with Sad and Fire. They're pushing this one back across. Orbit still just looking for that first goal at this point. They're going to finally get one through the back line. And knowing how much of a trolley team NRG can be, I wouldn't put it past them for being a Brazil.
Like they were trying like a flying V or something. Yeah. Like all 3 of them were moving up as a squad. Like they're ready to make something happen. And it's just, okay, when you got all 3 guys that close to each other, yeah, I'm going to contest you. I'm going to win the 50-50. But then the follow-up afterwards, they even had like 2 players on Orbit going up for that aerial against, I think it was Jacob. So just as long as they beat him out, they get a goal. But it also gives a chance for NRG to get that Brazil. Well,
it's scary. We just saw it off of kickoff, both Moses and Turtle hard committing to almost like a ball chasing formation. That's that sort of play when you're down this much and when this could easily be a very demoralizing situation. The last thing I want to see is players not trusting each other, overcommitting, and playing worse. You don't want tilt to become a factor. They're able to avoid the Brazil here in game number 1, but NRG convincingly takes the lead.
Now, it's interesting to hear as well because Garrett actually plays better when he's under pressure. He talks about how the mental game is such a huge factor for their team. And with that many shots, I understand they're playing a lot of defense, but for some reason when he's pressured, his mentality changes. He thinks about, okay, I can't go and take this, overconfident approach. I'm not going to go for those double touch aerials and stuff because they put me out of position. He thinks more logically about, okay, where do I need to be to make this play happen? So this may actually benefit him. But still, that pressure, NRG coming out, they just look like it's their game to win.
Yeah, and it's interesting you point out, like, if you're behind, you take the game much more actively in your awareness and how you approach it. But at the same time, like Carpet was talking about in the segment beforehand, part of what has carried Orbit so far has been those solo plays by Garrett. And you want your ace player to be free to do whatever he wants, to be able to try and go for those sorts of things. So hopefully, by taking that out of their arsenal, hopefully that doesn't hurt Orbit too much here, because they really have to think about what they're doing. getting outshot by like 8 shots. It was 12-3, 9 shots. What a crazy differential.
Yeah, we talked about how these teams, and I talked about the match of style. Jacob definitely the setup man. He's the one who only had one shot because he was always setting those up. Just the small plays and the one touch that he got, it dropped down and he shot it in.
Yep.
So they're definitely utilizing every facet of this field as well as kind of punishing this team that's looking actually pretty slow for Orbit.
Yeah, for sure. And I started to bring it up there in game number 1. It's easy to forget because of kind of their lackluster performance at the LAN, but NRG is the reigning North American online champions. They look to defend that title right now. They looked very strong in game number 1. See if they can carry it through here on game number 2. Set to go on Manfield. Jacob setting that one out for Fireburner. Gets it over the top of Garrett. The shot does go wide, but NRG looking to pick up right where they left off.
Really good job by Moses there as well. Staying patient, pass to Turtle. Shot on net, not going in. But the way that he played that, there's too many times that these guys throw away possession. Not Moses. Moses is going to take his time, dribble a little bit, and then pop it over defender, drawing one out. But then also gets a pass out to Turtle. That's what we like to see out of this Orbit squad. They're trying to make a comeback.
Moses puts this one into the NRG corner and then goes for the bump on Jacob, but Garrett waited passively to see what Fireburner would do. That slow play on the side nullified the usefulness of the bump, but Moses with a nice dunk just barely doesn't go in. I couldn't tell if it was Jacob that hit it or if it hit the post, but either way, we're still scoreless here in the first minute.
Well played. You see that dunk coming out, and it's just the pressure that we're talking about. Moses is starting to play that confident role that I like him in, where he's not afraid to move up and get in the face of these guys. It's something that Fireburner's been doing so well over this series.
Jacob tried to get a hit, but missed in the air. Turtle passes it to Sad Jr., who takes a shot. Moses will save it, block it away, and Fireburner takes another one. They've been accurate shots, but slow enough that the defenders on Orbit have been able to block effectively. Now the ball dropping down towards Jacob. Draws out Moses. Turtle right behind him will pick up ball control. Jacob looks to interrupt, but gets it across that midfield line to Fireburner. Puts it high. Garrett able to push it through. Down into the box, and Sad Jr. with the clear. Sends it back across that midfield line up towards Jacob, who comes in at a ridiculous angle. Does not get the touch just yet. 3:19 left to go in game number 2. We're still scoreless.
Yeah, much better this time from both sides. You see Orbit handling a little bit better, but the pressure of energy is still there. You're seeing plays like that. Oh my goodness, Turtle!
What a play here as they set him up. Garrett to Turtle, getting them on the board.
You see these guys both getting involved. That pass across, he hits the post, but then follows it up and gets a goal right past that last defender. So difficult to position, but that is the Orbit we know. Those pass plays so dangerous.
An incredible play to draw first blood here in game number 2. Turtle looks to extend that now as he sets it into the corner. Jacob puts it high. Moses in the air onto the backboard, looking to finish it off himself. Not going to do it as he leaves it for Garrett, and Fireburner will save it off to the side. Now Jacob and Fire moving up together. Sad Jr. keeping the rotation tight, goes for the long shot, gets it in, just rolls right in, and it's a tie game.
Had more power on that hit as he wins that 50-50. It drops down to the way he contests this. As soon as Moses jumps, he loses that, no matter what. As the pressure and the speed of that ball as it comes through, it's a physics-based game. He puts more surface area on that ball with that hit, and it pushes right past him into the net, gets the dunk.
Well, it was a beautiful play from Fireburner, leading up and zoning out Moses, forcing him into the air, which left the shot for Sad Jr. to take. His team plays immediately have NRG right back in it, but Orbit is threatening. Sad Jr. and Fireburner bump each other. Just leaves it for Garrett. He's not able to take the shot just yet, and Moses will send that one back out to midfield. Here comes Turtle from the back, over onto the backboard. Sad Jr. clears it away up to midfield. A demo onto Jacob in the backfield. Opens up space for Moses to move up. It's just Fireburner, but Moses loses control. Fireburner able to push it across the midfield line. 2:18. We're across halftime, and it's tied up 1 apiece.
Yeah, that bump's coming out too. Demos from both sides. You see Turtle and everybody trying to get involved in the face of this team, but then they're also bumping out Moses on the way, but I can't believe he's going to get that touch for a goal.
I'm not really sure what Fireburner, I think he was trying to clear it away, but he kind of zones the save away from Jacob.
Well, it was all Turtle in that corner. As soon as he played that ball in the corner, he got a second touch after, and it played off the backboard. There was one rotating in to make that hit and clear it out. But because of that second from Turtle, he's completely useless in that play. And then the follow-up, even though that's a light hit, the placement was top left.
Yeah, it worked out well, and just kind of putting that ball right in the middle of the defensive rotation of NRG. Has the lead back here for Orbit. 1:58 left on the clock, and they lead by 1. Jacob will drop that one out towards midfield. He and Fireburner moving up together. He'll leave it for Jacob. It's always smart to leave it for Jacob on the first touch. Fireburner tried to get the angle, just barely misses, not able to make contact, and Turtle will put it back out to midfield. It'll be Sad Jr. now. Looking for the solo play. out to Garrett. Fireburner puts it on the backboard, and Moses goes up to make a touch. It's soft, but carries it away from the box just enough to get it away from Jacob. And now Sad Jr. back out to midfield. Turtle sending this one up towards Garrett, who looks for the redirect, does not find it, and Turtle does not make the touch. Sad Jr. in net will get the save. Actually, it's Fireburner who rotated in quickly to clear it away. 1:18 left on the clock. It's still the 1-0 lead for Orbit.
Yeah, you see this pressure coming out between these two teams, and the way that it was applied, that shot coming out, there were some big mistakes. You even see some of these guys on defense bumping each other, but still the recovery coming out, you see Fireburner still will always be that defensive front.
What a play by Sad Jr. there. Going for the Spider-Man clear, but waiting long enough to draw Garrett up and onto the backboard to try and open up some space. Didn't pan out in the long run. And Turtle, what an angle as he gets a third one in.
Using that corner well, you see that ball pinched originally by Moses. What does Turtle do? He rotates around and beats that player out. Just gets the angle, just like you said, pops it up, and then another touch at that last second to put it over. Well done at trying to control that.
51 seconds remaining for NRG to bounce back here in game 2. After a dominating performance in game number 1, Orbit has responded well. They send another one onto the net. It goes just wide, bouncing off of that post. But NRG with an opportunity to push out of their own half. Nice setup here as Fireburner to Jacob. They put it up on the backboard, draws out some defenders, but Sad Jr. does not quite have the angle he needs. 30 seconds remaining. Moses winning the 50-50. Orbit looking good and set to take game number 2.
Yeah, you see the pressure coming out, and NRG is really changing their play style now. Everybody is committing on offense, and that's something that we saw Take 3 lacking when they were down. But NRG definitely being in that top tier, knows exactly what to do, but that shot coming out on net, Moses yet again, sweeping through and denying boost. They're controlling every facet, making sure that they can run out this clock, something they're so good at doing.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first match that Orbit played today. Their boost control game can be very strong in the way that they can completely run a defense drive very quickly. Excellent way to score.
Well, we even saw that in the first match in their first series of the day, where they would go in there on pressure, and then all of a sudden you see the two open guys would swoop in, take both of the corner boosts, and then piece back out to make sure they can make a play. And it's like, okay, guys, how do we save? They took both the boosts. We're down for 10 seconds. We're out. Like, what do we do?
Yeah, and it's interesting to watch the way that Orbit has responded after giving up 12 shots in game number 1. They respond with 14 of their own, completely flipping the table here, holding NRG to just 6. An excellent adjustment Orbit made here in game 2.
Pretty much even saves as well. I mean, it was definitely a back-and-forth game. It's just those couple of plays that allowed them to push him over the edge. And to be completely honest, like, there were some solo plays, like Turtle stepping up. We talk about how much of a support player he is. He's kind of that X factor for the team that he doesn't get as much credit because Garrett's always making these insane shots, but he's really stepping it up. He came in through. He's showing that he can also make those nice touches and win those solo plays, because even if he doesn't make that goal in the end where he beat that last defender, you know the rest of the team's going to be there to follow.
Right, they're right there. I mean, the first goal that Turtle scored where he like double tapped it off the post, like there's no margin for error there. He hits it at any other angle. It either goes in or it goes out, but he oh wow, what a follow through.
Good stuff setting up by Turtle. So credit going where it is due, but NRG now looking to bounce back themselves. They need to bring that aggression that they saw in the first match, control that pace of the game, because when you put this Orbit team on their back heel, they just don't look the same.
Yeah, no, we saw how important it was for NRG to get a lead out early in the game. Completely kind of befuddled Orbit there in game number 1. They'll see if they can do it again here. In game number 3, we're all tied up at a game apiece, best of 7. It'll be the first of 4. Will be your North American champions for Season 2. Sad Jr., what a pinch to send that one out to Jacob. Gets it across midfield, over into Orbit territory. Turtle looked to maybe back pass, but just missed it and left it for Garrett. Interesting setup, working out so far. Turtle wasn't able to get the final touch to send it into the net, but it was a very nice setup in a dangerous spot again. Sad Jr. will be able to send that one away. So far, it's been mostly Orbit on offense.
Yeah, you can tell they're a lot more comfortable on that side. We mentioned that usually, and you're seeing Moses able to come up and make plays how he'd like to, but as these guys get comfortable pass plays like that, well saved by Garrett.
Great read there by Garrett. So difficult to know where it was going. Kind of almost just benefited from right place, right time. This is a nice breakaway opportunity, and Jacob does it. He tried to fix it, but the damage was already done.
Well, damage he applied was towards the wrong player. He gets up and ends up demoing the teammate that he's trying to get in front of. But good job by, I think that was Garrett that came across. He's trying to just get in the way. We talk about sometimes you want to put a body in the way of the shot just to cut off an angle. He put a body in front of the ball just so he could cut off the shot, period, to make that save.
Well, it was either you leave me alone and you give me ball control, or you hit me and make the shot for me. Works out great, kind of just a catch-22. And it gives Orbit the 1-0 lead here, 3:50 left to go in game 3. Jacob now looking to set this one up for Fireburner. He does end up giving him ball control, but Mort ends up leaving the shot for Fireburner to set up for Sad Jr. Now Sad Jr. will be moving up. He and Fire looking for a scoring opportunity. A great setup. Can Sad Jr. finish it off? He does. The angle is tight, and we have a tie game.
That's the Sad Jr. you need to see on offense. He puts that on net initially. As soon as he lands, you get the help from Fireburner to put it up one more, just making it out of reach of this defense. Moses trying to go up and make a save, but then Sad Jr., as soon as he lands, recognizes that pass coming up, gets up, takes a shot, and puts it in the only way he can.
3:30 left to go. We're all tied up in game number 3, tied up in the series as well. You could not ask for a more even finals. Garrett sets this one out, tries to carry it through his own box, cannot quite get there. Turtle reads the shot from Sad Jr. and sends it across midfield. Fireburner will pinch it off the wall and send it back into the box. Garrett will follow, put it back around. Good play by Turtle on the wall to set it out to Garrett. He shoots. The way he got it around the defenders was incredible.
That pass play setup. Okay, so Garrett on that touch, rather than waiting for it to hit that wall, he jumps and meets it at the wall to play it downfield. It's so smart because there's a lot of people that mistake that touch. He doesn't allow that factor to come into play. As soon as it's played down, as soon as he sees Turtle make that touch off the wall, he goes up without a second's hesitation. And then the angle that he puts the shot on as well. Perfect top right.
Fireburner out to Jacob, looking for the tying goals. Nobody's home. It'll be Sad Jr. who finishes it off. Bit of an overcommitment on offense, leaves the back end open.
Yeah, they thought Garrett was going to get that hit, so they all moved forward. Because of the dunk, it gets completely changed in offensive possession. And then they have a wide open net, just like you said. It's just a matter of getting up and contesting that 50-50. Worked out so well for NRG.
And this is the most scary, most frustrating thing about playing against NRG is Jacob will so often just lurk upfield, looking for opportunities for the long passes. Works out for him there as he's able to set it out for Sad Jr., who maybe didn't even need to touch it. It was already in. Jacob's positioning paying off for NRG. They have another opportunity, but can't quite finish that one off. Tied up here, 2:40 left to go.
Garrett trying to go for an upside down hit, just barely misses out. But those are the setups we're talking about. They're so difficult to defend. As soon as the ball is up and you have a player who's already there ready to take a shot. But that's the issue. I'll say it time and time again. Teams hate playing against NRG. They're so weird to play against because of players like Jacob.
Jacob sets this one out. And this manages to get dunk onto Garrett in the midfield. Fireburner with a long shot. Moses will clear it away. They'll look to continue this offensive as Garrett, Spider-Man, clears it out to midfield. Follow up his own touch, sending it towards the net. Jacob sends it over to the side. They catch NRG in a weak rotation, but Turtle is not able to make contact, and that leaves it with Sad Jr. Pushes this one in the corner, goes for the dribbles. Garrett, his touch read by Fireburner. They look to finish it off. Sad Jr. putting that one in. The defender with the hat trick.
Follow-up coming up from this team. You see Fireburner trying to put his shot on, plays it in the middle, and it's all because Moses' tiny miss. He goes up, tries to get it, and even if he hits that, it might have just bounced right back off the backboard and put it down in front of the net again. But because of that, it's able, and the follow-up from Sad Jr. able to get up, put a shot on net. Yet again, Sad Jr. really stepping up. He's starting to make these shots that we know and love him for.
With that hat trick, Sad Jr. gives the lead back to NRG here in game number 3. Jacob and Fireburner in their own corner. Just look to hold on for a minute longer. To get it past 2, Fireburner has to make the last moment save. Moses puts another one towards the box, and Sad Jr. will clear it to the side. Now Turtle in the air. Following this one off, Jacob drops it to Fireburner and Sad Jr. They didn't really know what was going on, and they kind of exited, kind of just a lucky pinch there. Sends it all the way out. Now Jacob will put it back out to midfield. Sad Jr. bumping the entire Orbit team. This could be another scoring opportunity. Fireburn in the air, shoots towards the net. Garrett did get grounded and got his bearings back, able to make the save. Here comes the transition from Orbit. They've got it past Jacob. Nobody at home right now. 2 defenders up. Moses has an open net. Fireburner falls on it. What was this save?
What?
How?
He fell out of the heavens and crashed down on... planned. Totally calculated. There's no other way he what?
That was amazing.
It was a wide open goal. Like you said, 2 players committed to that, both out of position. But to recover, oh my goodness.
Fireburner just carrying his team in every way, shape, and form. though Sad Jr. has the hat trick for this game. So right now it's kind of a team effort. Jacob drops another one. Sad Jr. passes to Fireburner. The third shot does go in despite Garrett's best efforts. It's a 2-goal game.
So difficult to follow that pressure. You see Jacob trying to play that off, hits the backboard. You see Moses jump up, try to make a save, jumps up, tries to make another save. But then just one after another, these constant touches. There's no time, there's no downtime between them. As soon as that ball hits the ground, it's immediately put right back on net.
28 seconds remaining. Orbit got their work cut out for them. A 2-goal deficit, 20 seconds to make it up, and right now they're just trying to play the defense, just keep it away from their own net. Is Garrett accidentally going to score one more? NRG going to be taking game number 3, but it's been close down to this final minute.
Yeah, you see Moses just trying to get up and clear that back outside. He doesn't get the touch he's looking for, and it settles perfectly down for a waiting Sad Jr. He's got to do is put that back inside, and if he doesn't make it, somebody else is going to follow it up.
NRG looking so strong, and it's got to be difficult if you're on the side of Orbit, knowing this triple threat team on NRG is right there in front of you. As we've been talking about Fireburner and Jacob, these strong offenders, but then it's also you've got Sad Jr. showing up out of nowhere, able to finish this off. How do you defend against this?
No, it's very difficult, and it's a matter of this is going to be one of those back and forth battles that we saw the first time these guys played. There's a reason why these guys keep changing in the power rankings for number 1 and number 2. It's because when Sad Jr. is on, like you said, it's the same thing that you see out of Orbit. Each one of these players is so good at what they do. Their defined roles don't have to be as defined as we make them. They're able to move up and make a play on any part of the field.
Right.
They're all that talented.
Right, and it's so difficult when you're looking at a team and you know that, all right, they're going to play for specific rotations where you put Jacob up and then Fireburner up. That's the sort of rotation we want to defend against. If it's Sad Jr. moving up, we just need to get a clear. They're going to give us back control because they don't like our setup. But then a game like this comes out where Sad Jr. is your leading scorer. Like, how do you plan to play against a team like this, You
don't. Like I said, they hate it. People hate playing NRG for the reason you just mentioned. You have expectations, and they never get met in the sense of, okay, we know this is going to set up. There is a couple things that you try to prepare for, like, okay, yes, Fireburner's going to move up. He's going to take shots. Jacob's going to be your setup man. But who's going to take this hit? Is Jacob going to bump me? Is he going to chase me down for 2 boost pads just to send a message? We don't know. And that's what's so difficult about NRG. Their style is so difficult because as you try to adapt, they're already doing something different.
Right, and as we move on to DFH Stormy Stadium, it's interesting to note that the shot difference that we've been talking about this entire series comes out very even here at 11 shots from NRG and 10 from Orbit. Despite the score margin not really demonstrating it, this was about the most even game we've had so far.
Yeah, these guys battling back and forth, and that's what you have when you see 2 top caliber teams in North America really fighting. And obviously, they're going for that money. Obviously, seeding is important, but you're talking a difference in $3,500.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I'm going to go all in too.
Yep. It's exactly what you want to see from these teams as they play for everything here. You're moving into game number 4. It's the 1-game lead for NRG. Orbit will look to tie the series up, see if we can get a game 7. We've had all 5-game series so far today. Fireburner will put that one into the corner for Jacob. The pinch from Turtle will put it in a nice spot for Garrett, but Sad Jr. with the read will set that one out. And here comes Jacob Moses with a nice read. Gets that one over the top. Garrett tries to finish it off, but good touches from Fireburner. Turtle keeps the pressure on. Can they finally finish this one off? No, Sad Jr.'s touch will actually fake out Turtle and give ball control back to NRG for just a moment. Orbit coming out aggressive so far. Out of the gate swinging here in game number 4. Can they finally finish it off? No, it still goes wide. It's like 6 shots already.
Good decision-making as well by Garrett. As soon as he sees that ball coming up, he's coming at such a weird angle, he's not going to take that hit. What does he do? Rotates back on defense, puts himself in a position, and then allows this team to force that ball back in and apply continuous pressure. But for some reason, this NRG defense, like everybody is stepping up.
Turtle sending this one across the midfield line. Fireburner waits it. Battle of the Batmobiles in the corner. Moses takes another shot that just goes high on the crossbar. They set up Garrett here in the corner. So watching for an opportunity, does not get it through. Jacob will set this one out to Sad Jr., but Garrett will send it into the corner to try and maintain ball control.
Oh no, that dunk!
They're able to finish it off. A great shot there by Sad Jr., getting NRG on the board.
Talk about characteristic plays. You see Garrett play this up into the corner. Obviously, Sad knows, hey, he's going to the corner, so what does he do? He puts himself in a position to get in front of that clear.
Yep.
It's just this clear is going to go into his net instead.
3:44 left to go. I think that's about the latest first goal we've had in this series. It's both teams settling in. Working defensively here as Fireburner drops one behind the airborne defender. Doesn't matter. 2-0 for NRG.
Insult to injury. You see these guys come up, and they're playing that aggressive style. You see Moses trying to come off that backboard and get a save, but the placement from Fireburner is back inside. And then after that, you even see Garrett come across and get a demo on one of the other players just being like, yeah, we got you.
3:38 left to go. And NRG looking strong right now. Last time they got out to an early lead, they maintained it and created a blowout win. As Jacob drops this one over. Can he finish it off? It's there for Fireburner, but the angle is very ridiculous to hit. And Turtle will be able to clear it away. Jacob watches this one in the corner. Just goes for the bumps on players, opening up space for Sad Jr. to move up and try and get a setup. It's working out right now. What? You've been talking about it all day, that they're just so hard to predict. This play was what?
It's so dumb. Like, all right, so last time we're going to aggress this way, but what are we going to do now? Okay, Jacob's now going to be the beginning man, and he's just going to be a nuisance. He's going to bump you. He's going to demo you. He's going to make it so you literally can't clear because you can't even touch the ball. And then he gets the goal off of it, too. Like, this play style difference and this changeup, they always keep it interesting, and it's so difficult to defend against.
Well, and yeah, because so much of Rocket League works off of reaction and off of reading, looking at what your opponents are doing and beating them to it, being just one step ahead.
Their predictability is insane. Like, they just don't have an ability to. And when you get a team like Orbit that has a very characteristic style,
right,
they match up so well.
They're just not able to figure out how to do it. Yeah, he's like going to go in the corner, hit the ball. Like, nah, I'm just not going to hit the ball. And they're like, wait, what? Okay, what do we do now? 2:40 left to go, and it's 3-0 for NRG in game number 4. Jacob looking to set this one out for Fireburner, who gets in the air, but Garrett will set it off to the side. Orbit still looking for their first goal, as it's in the corner. Moses tries to get the hit, but cannot. Fireburner, oh my goodness, it just falls on his hood. He's like, thank you, I'll take that one.
A lot of times when you see shots like that, they take it off a ball cam. You see this ball getting cleared across mid, and you're trying to see Moses come across and make a save, being that last one back. Super risky play, but it's one of those high risk, high rewards. You're down by 3. You need to make something happen halfway through this game. So if you would have got that touch, yeah, it would have changed the momentum of everything. But at the same time, like, you're already down by 3. You can't be making those mistakes.
With how aggressively NRG has positioned themselves, almost always leaving a player downfield to pick up the pass. You just any sort of like offensive overcommitment is just almost a guaranteed goal on the other side. Turtle dropping an angle in. A great play there. That might be the momentum they need.
Dropping an angle indeed. You see this ball come out. You see Fireburner trying to get up and make a save. But as soon as it happens, Garrett goes up with the help of Turtle. But Turtle just taking something out of his book. Rotates his car, uses the top of that car because it hits it a little bit lighter and it just feathers into that top right. Even with trying to make a save attempt, it pinches back in.
2-11. Moses needs to win this 50-50. Jacob got there first. Now Turtle up to Moses, looking for an opportunity to drop another one through. Fireburner keeps it on the ground, and Garrett has to move back rapidly into the corner. Sad Jr. plays that one over the top, shoots for the far side, and goes for the bump on Moses. Just so much layers to their offense. As Sad Jr. takes the shot, he also goes for the bump on the goalie just in case he misses. These sorts of plays are exactly what makes NRG so lethal. 1:42 left to go. They're still up by 3. And looking to see if they can gain match point here as the series moves forward. Sad Jr. taking a shot, shut down by Garrett. The 2-player pinch will send it out to midfield for Jacob, who sets this one over to Sad Jr., taking the shot wide. Moses sends it into the corner. And Orbit right now in their own half, needing to break out, needing to transition. This is an opportunity if Turtle can just gain ball control here, dribble this one through. He doesn't see Sad Jr. coming from the side. And he'll be able to take it, send it straight up to Jacob. The awareness from NRG, huge part of what has them in the lead right now.
Yeah, part of the things that you see as well is, you mentioned like trying to come in and take a 50-50 from the side. In most cases, the guy who's pushing it is going to win. But because it's on top of his car and he's trying to dribble it, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Sad can come in, he can transition it into a defensive back pass almost. Oh, but that ball is centering. Oh,
can he finish it off? Got some momentum on it, but it went just high. Fireburner and Sad Jr. both commit on that one. It's still an opportunity for Orbit as no one is home. Fireburner will be there before Garrett can move in. Now he's looking for the transition, gets one towards the net, and Turtle clears it away. It's in the final minute of gameplay, and Orbit still needs 3. Here's an opportunity shut down by Jacob. Over to the side, NRG looking so strong in all 4 games so far, as they're going to be taking a 3-game lead.
Well, you're trying to see Orbit do everything in their repertoire, stuff that we're so used to, these predetermined pass plays. Orbit's, or like, Moses is on the complete opposite wall, and he still has a teammate that sees him up there, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to place this perfectly to you, and you're going to put a crazy shot on net. It may not work, but it still transitions the field. But that back pass coming with a shot on net.
Is it going to work? No, they're not able to finish it off. It started with a double demo from Garrett, something that we know NRG is notorious for, something that Orbit could put more into their repertoire as they move forward here. They're going to have to change up something because they made the adjustments there in game number 2. Game 3, NRG bounces back, and they're running away with it right now. If they win one more, this is over.
Well, you look at the score so far in this entire match, 6-1, 3-1, 5-2, and 4-1. When these teams win, they win by a lot. It's something that once they figure out what they need to do, they're able to carry that through and then really close out these matches. But they're starting to move down in shots. They're starting to get a little bit more methodical. And you see it. I mean, you're only looking at 5 shots for NRG. You're looking at 6 shots for Orbit. It's a lot less than what we were seeing initially. And it's simply because they're trying to change it up because as these guys get more and more comfortable, you see more and more stupid stuff from NRG.
Yeah, for real. For real. And it's interesting because I think momentum is playing such a huge factor in this particular match right now. We've seen almost every team that gets out to an early lead, they hold on to it, and then they just run away with it, especially in the case of NRG, is they're able to feel comfortable and move forward. And for Orbit, we need to have the same sort of thing happen. We need Garrett to feel comfortable going for the solo plays that we've seen him doing, that Carpet was talking about. That sort of stuff, like, yeah, you can have an even board of stats here with the shots, but the goal differential is huge.
Well, how do you have those solo plays when you have people like Jacob up in your face shutting them down?
Yeah.
Like, every time that they go to transition, something that Orbit does so well, transition from defense to offense with a pass or two, and they usually get both players involved when they do that because that misdirection is very tough to read. But when you completely stop that clear from happening in the first place, you have someone like Jacob up in your face, bumping you, and you go to move it out, and it's like, okay, I can't move it out. The ball's going that way, and I got bumped this way. It's difficult. Like, they're really dictating what's happening here.
And I think one of the things that we're seeing happening is that we usually see kind of 2 general styles of formation. We see kind of a rotational offense where every player is moving through. We see 3-0 offenses where just everyone commits straight up, and that's usually something that kind of you adjust to in the middle of a game if you're down. Or a 2-1, 2 players up, 1 player back. What we're seeing from NRG is kind of a 1-2. 1 player always in the enemy half and 2 players back on defense looking to push it out and create a 3-0 opportunity. And that's something that Orbit and nobody else really knows how to deal with right now, and it's what has NRG 1 game away from being the national champions.
Well, it's crazy to see because back in the day, that's kind of how Rocket League started, is you saw a lot of teams start to develop it.
Right.
But the mechanical skill wasn't there to make up for only 1 person on offense.
Right.
They didn't know how to utilize bumps and boosts and eyes and getting in the face of it because they just weren't sure what the other team was going to be capable of. And now that you have a team like NRG really starting to make it their own, it's dangerous.
Oh, Garrett with a nice shot, blocked out by Fireburner. He pinches it off the crossbar and sends it away. First minute about to come and go, and we're still going to be scoreless here in game number 5. Both teams holding on. NRG looking to finish this one off and be back-to-back North American champion. Sad Jr. looking to try and carry this one through. Plays it patiently into the corner. Fireburner in the air. Does not win it out with Turtle, but it's still in the corner in a dangerous spot as Sad Jr. drops it back towards the box. And Moses gets the clear into the corner of NRG. Garrett will look to move forward here as Jacob is able to dunk that one and keep it from moving out. Sad Jr. now in the corner. Ball spending a lot of time in this orange corner right now as they're trying, Orbit just trying to create any sort of shot, and NRG shutting it down at the goal line. Sad Jr. now pushes this one through. Back out to midfield. We're seeing NRG not commit to as much, as aggressive of an offense as we usually have been seeing in the past 4 games. So I think it's step it up here as Fireburner tries to push that one out. Ups for Sad Jr., but part of that is also Orbit contesting a lot more. They're really going for these 50-50s.
Yeah, and it confuses me, and I think it's because of the way that NRG is playing. Normally with NRG's playstyle, I would love to see Orbit actually use that to their advantage. If these guys are going to come out super aggressive, do a back pass, draw somebody with you, and try to get one of those 2 people on defense with, and then go for those big counterattacks that you guys are so good at. But yet you can't do that because what do you know? NRG's now playing it slow and controlling that pace that way too. Like, this team's so frustrating.
Moses looks to play this one through, gets it past Sad Jr. and Jacob. Fireburner in the back line actually misses that clear, and Sad Jr. is in a kind of a weird backward spot. Luckily, Jacob comes through, is able to put it away for him. Moses looks to finish that one off, gets a shot in, and that is the lead for Orbit.
Just a matter of time until they find an open position. You talk about that pressure that was coming from Orbit, and the contestants are making one after another, and then that pass, hitting that side post, just bouncing right back in towards the middle, drawing that defender out, open net, and then eventually that last guy able to swing in and put a goal. That was half the match already.
Yeah, man, first goal right here at halftime. Sad Jr. looking to see if he can dunk that one through. Garrett gets a different angle than Sad Jr. predicted, and that will keep the lead here in favor of Orbit. They're looking to hold on. They've got to win this one and 2 more to be able to pull this one away from NRG. Jacob will set it back out to midfield. Moses onto the wall. Sad Jr. in the air. Does not make contact. Moses has an open net and will finish that one off. It's 2-0 Orbit.
Good poise by Moses, staying in control. As soon as that ball gets played across, he's actually the one that plays it laterally. And that miss coming across on that defender. And then just 2 soft touches. He's got nothing to waste. Yeah, he could have probably placed it a little bit better, but still, he has the angle. Even if someone contests him, he can just jump up and win that 50-50.
It was gutsy from Moses, too. He followed that one through, kind of almost assuming Sad Jr. would miss the shot, which is not something I think I would ever assume out of someone like Sad Jr. Orbit now looking to see if they can make it 3. Turtle finishes that one off. They kind of had a fake there in the air. It gives them a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, just a huge clear coming out from Turtle, and that's some of those things, those expectations that we have. Okay, Turtle's going to redirect this.
Right.
No, he's not even going to touch it. It's going to go top left.
Right.
And there's no way Fireburner can get in time with how close he is to that.
Yep, that kind of fake out play. Way to keep the defenders grounded. And Orbit, after dropping 2, looking to take Game 5 and force Game 6. NRG, though, looking to bounce back. The 3-0 comebacks only happened, I think, 3 times in the total of RLCS. And they will see if they can make a 4th one here. Garrett playing this one patiently as Jacob will just outright tackle him, just go in and bump him like, all right, enough of this. Moving forward, 1:38 left to go, and NRG has yet to score in game number 5. Sad Jr. looking to carry this one into the backfield. Garrett moves up. Jacob clears it away. Fireburner moving up behind his teammate. See if he can get the setup off the wall. Set it out for Sad Jr., who takes a shot towards the net. Cannot get it through Garrett. Reads it well and sets it high for Moses. Looks for the counterplay. Can he drop this one through? No. Jacob sends it to the side. Sad Jr. will look to gain ball control, but with 1 minute left on the clock, NRG has their work cut out for them as Orbit has continued just to keep them away from their net.
Yeah, this is where they belong. You see that aggression. You mentioned it at the very beginning of the match, going up those 50-50s contesting, and you're starting to see those solo plays again. You're starting to see Moses comfortable. He's not afraid to put himself out of position just for the circumstance in case someone makes a mistake.
Oh.
And there's a huge mistake coming out from Fireburner. He should have had that goal.
That was an easy one, relatively, for these guys. Something that just right there in front of the net, no goalies. Shouldn't miss those ones. With 35 seconds remaining, Orbit just running away, just taking control. We talked about the early leads and how strong it was for these teams. It holds on here true in game number 5 as Orbit will be able to take their 2nd win of the series.
Yeah, even though there's 20 seconds left, it's just with the way these guys are playing, they're trying to force stuff, and it's not really formulating anything. But yet again, we mentioned it right at, like, I think it was last series, like right in between our break. Each game has been a significant goal difference.
Right.
As soon as these guys find what they need to do, they carry it through, and these guys aren't able to adapt. And we talk about how we want adaptations to happen more and more, but sometimes they do take an entire game. It happens all the time, and we just get so quick to how fast-paced this match is. It's like, no, you need to adapt right now. You need to do it in the middle of this game. You don't have time to figure it out. And that's what these guys are doing, is because of how good these teams are, it's difficult to kind of match that play style out of nowhere.
Right.
But when the next match rolls around, they're like, yeah, we're ready. It took Orbit a couple times to come back, and now they're back on top.
Yeah, they're able to pull that one off. One of the biggest shot differentials we've had in a while after having some very, very even games, 8 to just 3, holding NRG into their own half. And I think that those 50-50s we're talking about, that was the big adjustment they made. We were seeing, especially in game 4, some passivity on the side of Orbit, not wanting to take shots, wanting to be more shallow, which you talked about in the beginning. When you get beat 6-1, what are you going to do, right? Well, Garrett's like, I'm going to play more safe. And then they're realizing the safety is actually what's killing us here. And as we move on to Utopia in game number 6, they only have to take 2 more here to be your North American champions.
Part of the reason is that passivity, it just doesn't suit Garrett.
No.
Like, Garrett needs to go ham. He needs to go absolutely crazy. But the benefit of doing that as well is it forces people like Jacob to sit back. He can't move up and be that nuisance. He can't get in your face. He can't deny your boost. We can't set up these big pass plays and let Sad Jr. do what Sad Jr. does, which is go up and make stupid touches where he's going across his body or gets it, right underneath the net. So Orbit really needs to kind of basically funnel these guys back to a position on defense where it suffocates them down to a point to where they're not able to do what they're so good at.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way that we watched Orbit, like you said, stuff them into their own half. They kept NRG from being able to move out. And now the question is, how does NRG respond to this? How do they move forward? They can take the win here. They can take the win in Game 7. One more win crowns them champions. What adjustments do they make?
Not only does it crown them champions, it gives them 10 Gs, man.
Yeah, it does.
To be that close, I mean, obviously they're on match point, but when it comes down to it, they just need to go crazy. They need to really get in the face You saw how Orbit adjusted and was able to start putting on that pressure and going for those 50-50s. NRG needs to do that to Orbit. They need to be the ones that are doing that aggression on their side, and there's a first shot coming out.
Oh, very close there. Fireburner has an opportunity to finish it off, and Turtle will send it over to the side. Now Jacob moving up, being aggressive. As you said, going for the 50-50s, just not allowing them, saying, if you're going to try and contest this, we're going to play this game too. We've been talking about how just they've had all these different styles that they can pull out. That sort of adaptability is what makes them lethal here. 4:25 left to go in game number 6. And NRG looking to put it away right now as Jacob's shot going wide. Fireburner looks to keep the pressure on, sets it back, draws Garrett and Moses into the air. Can Sad Jr. meet this one in the air? He's going to go for it first and beat it out over Moses. Turtle will set this one very, very high. Very nice clear there, punting it all the way down the field. Jacob and Sad Jr. now on the offense, set out for Jacob. He does not see a shot. Fireburner able to put it onto the backboard once more. They're still continuing to threaten. Jacob actually is going to fall back on that one. Let Turtle get the clear. Garrett will take a shot towards the net. Jacob is there. They'll be able to wrap this one around. Both teams with awesome opportunities to score here in game number 6. They're both going hard right out of the gate.
Well, we talk about, okay, now you guys got to bring it to each other, and that's where you're going to start to see that ping pong action. Both these players are going to do a really good job of spreading the field, making sure they can cover every single hit just to make sure that the other team doesn't get it first. But because of that, it's very difficult to maintain possession.
First sign of weakness coming out here from NRG. Sad Jr. and Fireburner right up on top of each other deep in enemy territory. They have an opportunity here to score as Fireburner puts that one through. It works out for him as they get first blood.
All a matter of beating him to the ball on the other opponent's side. You see Turtle trying to make a touch, and he plays it a little bit too light down to the side. Sad Jr. already waiting for it. Plays it off, makes a great pass, and then the follow from Fireburner yet again. He is the top goal scorer, or goals per game goes to Fireburner because of that position he plays. Plays really strong defense, moves up with his team, and then makes sure those shots count. Accuracy is phenomenal.
Such the lethality of the 3-0 there, all very, very deep in the enemy box. And able to finish that one off is a great tap from Moses off the back, and we have a tie game.
Back and forth yet again. You see Turtle win that 50-50, but then Moses going up and taking a phenomenal shot, able to play that off the wall, and then gets a second tap that plays it perfectly inside. It's one of those things that you saw Sad Jr. doing. These guys have expectations for these shots to bounce out, and they wait underneath to make a save.
Right.
But how do you predict that second hit? You can't.
And with 3 minutes left to go, we talked about getting out to an early lead being very critical for these teams here. An excellent play there by Orbit, getting the second goal, not allowing this to happen. But what a shot. We've seen Fireburner do this a few times.
You talk about it, it happens again, just the way this is played down. Jacob with the setup, and then he's just waiting. That demo making that last defender not there. But then he just sits there and waits for it. He goes, okay, it's going to hit me here. Pulls out the projector, like tests the wind speed, and then it just rockets back into the net.
Straight in, and that 1-2 offense paying off for NRG again as they are able to take the lead in game number 6. 2:40 left to go on the clock, and they're just going to look to hold on here. Orbit is threatening. Turtle drops another one to Garrett, who tries to get it around Jacob. An excellent play, but NRG able to counter. The transition comes out. They have a 2-goal lead.
Moses in a really tough position here. He cheats up because of that back pass from Garrett. He's trying to make sure he gets it, but as soon as he sees Fireburner bring it downfield, he's like, all right, I need to contest this. The issue is he forgets that Jacob is swinging in, and because he's caught in that in-between period, all Jacob needs to do is have a quick hit over the top, and the ball's going to move fast for them. There's nothing he can do about that unless he just tries to go for a prediction, but that puts him out of position too.
2:28 left to go, just past halftime, and NRG holding on. They've got a 2-goal lead. They look to maintain that. Sad Jr. tries to set this one out. Moses passes to Turtle, who gets it back into the box. Sad Jr. with the backflip, the bicycle kick to send it away. Good contest from Fireburner, putting it out to midfield. Drops it towards Jacob. It'll be Garrett who puts it onto the backboard. Moses in to finish, can't get the angle, and that leaves it with NRG. They're going to look to push this one back out. It's Fireburner and Jacob maintain ball control. He drops this one towards his teammate, but Moses is there instead. He will be able to pick this one up, transition it back. Orbit looking to score, see if they can cut down on this differential.
Yeah, you see it now that they're up by 2 with just under 2 minutes left. NRG's probably going to go into a little bit more defensive, but I think that's actually a bad idea. That complacency can be dangerous for a team like, oh my goodness.
Oh, they're still threatening. Oh, and Garrett got it through. What was this? That was incredible the way they were able to small ball this one in the box.
Exactly like I'm talking about complacency. You see Sad Jr. being forced to come out of net. And because of that 50-50 won by Moses, that pressure stays and maintains. and then eventually it's going to draw somebody out of net. They're able to put it back and try to keep themselves alive. They're down by 1, a minute and a half left.
Oh, they're making this one exciting, Lawler. They're not going to let this one go out with a long lead. They're only up by 1. NRG going to try and hold on at any moment. That the one goal lead is in no way safe. You can come back from that 10 seconds after the clock has run out. You know, like they could easily still come back into this as Orbit is trying to force the critical game 7. As Garrett sends this one into the box and it goes in. Tie game. It's Garrett with the carry.
There's the Garrett we know and love up on that wall, and as soon as the ball is rolling up, he's already there waiting for it, and he just smashes that with as much power as he can on that top bar. 2 defenders up, neither of them hit it.
Just when they need him to show up, Garrett ties it up, keeping Orbit's hopes alive.
It's so stupid knowing he's 15. It's like it's frustrating. I can't handle it.
It's scary, you know, because he's only just going to get better.
He mentioned he remembers when he was 5 when the PlayStation came out. I'm like, you suck, man. Like, oh god, I feel so old.
Jacob trying to see if they can find the go-ahead winning goal. As Turtle looks to drop one more through. Final minute of gameplay. Orbit threatening. Can they get the lead?
Oh my goodness!
Game 7. They have the opening. Jacob, what was that? Did he get bumped?
Is that Devo?
That was the most ridiculous save I've ever seen. That was an open net. Turtle still with the opportunity to score, cannot finish it off. Fireburner drops it dangerously close to his own net. Oh my goodness, they almost put it in themselves.
Moses bumped the defender of Jacob, I'm pretty sure, into that ball, and it bounced it right back out. It was wide open.
It's out to midfield. 18 seconds left on the clock and we're tied up. If NRG can score here, it's basically game over. Garrett puts it out. Fireburner wins the 50-50 into the corner. Moses will be able to put it around Fireburner. Oh, he tops it high past that junior. The demo on to Moses was critical, and Jacob will carry it away from Turtle. Both teams dodging bullets here at the end. We'll go to overtime in game 6.
Oh, God. Of course it's overtime. Match point coming out if NRG takes this.
Jacob drops it onto the backboard. Had an opportunity. NRG is 1 goal away from securing the championship. And going into land as the #1 seed from North America. Sad Jr. setting this one high. Fireburner looking for an opportunity. As Turtle plays it soft. A nice tap there from Fireburner, rolling it in. And Garrett now has ball control. Jacob takes it from him. It's just Moses in the back. He's able to win the 50-50, but Sad Jr. there sets it up on the backboard. Turtle with the hard clear. Both Moses and Garrett go up. This could be bad. Can Jacob finish it? Going for the boost. He doesn't get there. Sad Jr. can't get it either. And Jacob finishes it off. NRG are your champions.
They're doing it again. Back-to-back seasons. Your #1 seed for North America. NRG.
What a play there. It was so scary there because I saw Sad Jr. It was on Sad Jr.'s camera for the auto cam, and I'm like, oh man, he's going to miss that one. But Jacob finishes it off, gets that overtime goal, the finisher medal coming out for them. And NRG, back-to-back, as you said, they are #1 in North America.
At least we got a game 6.
Oh, wow. I mean, that was a crazy game 6. I'll take it. I don't know if my heart could have taken a game 7.
I wanted it, but oh my goodness. Congrats to NRG coming out so strong, showing why they deserve to be that #1 seed. We've seen these guys battle back and forth, and in week 4 it was actually Orbit who took it 3-2. So to see these guys come back, recognize what happens, and you know these guys do a lot of study with these teams. It's so difficult going against a team that adapts so much. But it looks like that crazy play style from NRG is going to win.
Yeah, man, that was amazing, and it will be very interesting to see how the Europeans deal with it when it comes around at land, because NRG looking so hot as they move forward. #1 in North America. Congratulations to Orbit, who takes #2. They'll have excellent seeding as they move forward into the land, but we'll be sending it back over to the analyst desk where they can talk about this match. Guys, take it away.
Thank you, Wave Punk and Lawler. What a nice series to wrap things up here at the North America Regional Championships. Congratulations to NRG. I wonder if that last one will make our Mobile One High Performance Replay. We're about to find out as we see another recap of that series.
Game 1 was just a shellacking by NRG. They came out so hot. Really surprising that they almost got a Brazil. But as Lawler was saying, almost every single game until the final game were blowouts.
Yeah, convincing win. One team or another, even the game, like the games Orbit won, they won commandingly. The games NRG won, they won commandingly. That last one coming down to the wire, like you were saying, but I thought NRG or Orbit was going to be able to come back, especially after that play. Garrett and Turtle working so well together, but NRG just proved to be too much.
And Sad Jr., games 2, 3, and 4, NRG scored 10 goals. Sad was involved in all 10 goals, which is a big confidence boost for him because he was not involved at all in that first series of the day. And basically, throughout the entire season, he was not the one on the offensive side. So huge plays by Sad to give them that 3-1 lead, but then Orbit battled back.
It seemed as though NRG might have been about to blow that 3-1 lead. Chat was saying that, at least. But like you were saying, Sad Jr., even though he came up short there, that mind game worked out. Jacob able to get that overtime goal, and NRG, again, they have proven that they are consistent online in North America. But the big question now is, how are they going to perform at LAN? We saw them go out in the 7th, 8th spot, but today, again, they have claimed their spot at the top in North America.
It's a good question. NRG coming home with the #1 seed, Orbit with the #2 seed. Are you guys happy with that? Do you think these two teams are the two best teams in North America? Could have gone any better?
Yeah, by far. These two teams, like, I could have seen them going either way, 1 or 2, but these two teams have performed throughout the entire season. We've seen it before. They both beat Genesis during the regular season, and then NRG beats them again as well. So, like, Genesis is that 3rd seed that was probably in the run-in for 1 and 2. But it just showed that these two teams are the ones here. Like Moses at the end of that last game, he accidentally bumped Jacob for the save. He was trying to drive around him as best he could, but he couldn't get around him. So Orbit was so close to making this a Game 7. Like either one of these teams could easily be the #1 seed, but NRG gets the #1 seed. They get the EU4 seed once again. But last time, as we know, as Vogan knows, the Flying Dutchman, he called it. They beat him. So they really want to perform well at LAN. And Orbit, they performed okay at LAN. Like they got a 5th, but I think going into this one, I think the entire region of North America should be more confident going up against Europe. There hasn't been a lot of international matches. There's only been like 1 major tournament, and both these two teams beat Market Aces in that tournament. So they should be looking pretty confident going all the way across the pond to the European homeland over there. They might make some surprises happen in this entire region.
Yeah, I think NRG has proven that they are the best in North America. They've proven it time and time again. But in terms of matchups, I think it just depends on how EU plays out. Because Orbit, they play a fast and furious style, very similar to Northern Gaming. But I honestly think the Remco, Maestro, and then now Mystic in the mix, I think they are a little bit better at that quick rotational game play than Orbit is. So if Orbit runs into them early, I think it's going to be in favor of Northern. But without a doubt, Orbit is that top 2 team in North America. NRG, Orbit have proved that they are, and they seem to be our best hope in terms of North American teams going into Europe. But we saw how everything played out at the last live event.
Nothing matters.
Nothing
matters. Literally nothing matters.
Anything can happen. And of course, we had the world champions actually defeated Flipside Tactics, and Flipside Tactics came all the way back through the lower bracket to meet again in the finals. And that's what you get at live events. Literally anything can happen. So I got to ask too, now that we've seen these North American teams, it's all played out. We have our top 4, we have our 4 seeds. They're looking forward to playing against the Europeans on the big stage. What do you think are the main keys that these North American teams should focus on going into Amsterdam?
I think a lot of it is we have 3 teams basically coming back as full rosters. Like Genesis has Classics now instead of Quinn. But besides that, these guys are veterans now to the LAN experience. Like now on the other side with Europe, they're going to have a lot more fresh faces coming in. So it might be a little bit of a different dynamic. And these teams of NRG, they just need to win that first match. They desperately need to win the first match, because if they lose again, then it's going to be the curse of the LAN and stuff like that. So like as long as NRG wins that first round, they can make a long run throughout this, but they just need that confidence of that first game.
Definitely. I think North America is going to be watching tomorrow very, very closely, because if Flipside or Northern goes out early, those are 2 teams that these North American sides want to avoid at all costs. But again, like you said, NRG is going to be coming in with a chip on their shoulder. How's that going to play into it? Fresh faces from North American side with Take 3, and then Precision Z, fresh faces there, and then even Mock It with 2 new players. So we're just going to have to wait and see, but it is going to be quite exciting, and I think North America does have a good shot at this.
Well, what a phenomenal day of Rocket League for North America. Again, you've been watching the regional championships. That was our final match. Let's take a look at the bracket for today, how everything unfolded. Lots of 4-1s. We saw Orbit 4-1 over Take 3, NRG 4-1 over Genesis. Genesis pulling through, getting 3rd place, 4-1 over Take 3, and then that final match, epic affair there with NRG 4-2 over Orbit. And that brings us to our European bracket for tomorrow. So make sure you tune in because tomorrow is going to be so intense and so epic. These are the top 4 teams in Europe.
We really started off with a great matchup between Northern Gaming and Mocket Aces. Mocket Aces just beat Northern Gaming 3-1 on Friday. So coming in as a 4 seed, that doesn't matter that much to Mocket because they know that they can take pretty much any of these teams down.
But then Flipside Tactics and Precision Z. Flipside has just proven time and time again that they are the Titans of Europe, coming up big when it is needed. Precision Z, a new team on the block, kind of the rejects of Pashy. He dropped every single person on that team, and lo and behold, they came back and took out Mocket to get into this championship bracket and the LAN. So Precision Z, they're scary. I wouldn't count them out.
Of course, we have a better idea of what Amsterdam is going to look like. Here is a little preview of what's to come. You see NRG there at the very top, Genesis there in that second spot, Take 3, and then finally at the bottom there, it's Orbit.
Genesis might be a little upset that they're on the same side of the bracket as NRG in case they do get by that EU number 2 seed. Seems like they just can't get by that hurdle, as we saw today, that it was only 5 games. And NRG basically controlled that series, which was a shock to me. But anything goes at the LAN. We're going to see a lot of nerves being played, and we have an awesome new arena that we're going to. So the players themselves are going to see the crowd the entire season is just vertical, so it's just like everyone is looking right at you. It's going to be really hard for these players to get acquainted in that first game, and that's why the season's so important, because you want the easiest matchup possible when you have a lot of nerves, because at least it gives you a little bit more of a favor, but honestly, it doesn't really matter too much about the seeds, because
every series,
Flying Dutchman, they came in 4th last time. They were the European 4 seed, so anyone can win it.
Every series is going to be so difficult.
And remember, it's double elimination as well, and we saw in the Season 1 final to Avalon Hollywood, Flipside lost in the first round to G2, aka I by Power, but were able to come back all the way through that lower bracket, so you really can't count any teams out in the finals. But yes, the grand finals will be in Amsterdam. We're not too far away. December 3rd, 4th is actually, there's so many things happening in esports, but this should be the focus of your attention because it's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun as the top 8 teams, the best Rocket League players and teams in the world will be there, and the best broadcasting team in the world will be there too.
Well, thank you.
That's a given.
Mostly because of all of you, nothing on me.
But really, the exciting thing too is players, Rocket League fans, and players from the community from all over the world are going to be there. Players from Oceania, the Oceania region. Rocket League has such a vibrant community there. And then also North Americans coming out, and they're going to be joining up with all our friends over in Europe. It's going to be such a blast. We'll get to watch great Rocket League, but then just the camaraderie of getting to hang out with everyone. It's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, that first weekend of the first LAN was one of the best moments of all of our lives. It was just so much fun to have so many people in one spot that all love the same thing. And we get to see it again, and then we get to see with a lot more European fans, which is a nice change of pace, because a lot of Europeans obviously couldn't fly all the way out to California last time. So we'll see a lot of new faces, and it'll just be a ton of fun.
Super excited for that grand final. Of course, for our purposes and for your purposes, you need to tune in tomorrow because we have another regional championship going down. It's Europe, the European region, the top 4 teams in Europe. That starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. I think that's 6 p.m. Over in Europe, CEST. Go ahead and look up wherever your time zone is, but make sure you're there. I think that's going to do it for the broadcast today, though. Again, congratulations to NRG, proving to be the best team in North America. We'll see if they can pull through that in Amsterdam. Of course, they're probably going to be watching very closely the games tomorrow, and you should be too. But we're going to sign off for now. Again, congratulations to NRG and to all the participating teams in the North American region. European Regional Final is tomorrow. I better see you there. See you tomorrow.